Coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios in the heart of Johannesburg, this is Prime News on SABC 3, and here's what's dominating in your leads at this hour.
You want to kill me and all that kind. And then the response by Mr. Naika, I don't.
Gregory Loftus, the father of the alleged tow truck and drug gang leader, Bevan Loftus, claims that his son was executed by members of the KZN SAPS CIT task team, allegedly under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Dina Govender. As Durban gears up to host the 46th SADC summit at the ICC, security has been tightened around the precinct.
Electricity tariffs have increased far faster than inflation itself.
And President Cyril Ramaphosa says the South African wholesale electricity market will begin its operations in the coming year. The time is now 8 o'clock and you are watching Prime News on SABC 3. Good evening and welcome to it. My name is Beki Mutumomolete and your sign language interpreter with me today is Fortune Madlanga. Let us chart a course together through the day's biggest stories. And with that said, here are your leads. We launch with this. Gregory Loftus, the father of alleged tow truck and drug gang leader, Bevan Loftus, believes that his son was executed allegedly by members of the KZN SAPS CIT task team, allegedly under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Dina Govender. But Bevan's long list of cases and an alleged mean reputation could cast doubts on the events of the 1st of April 2023. The question remains, was it an extrajudicial killing or a shootout between police and suspects which rendered the former victorious?
Please raise your right hand and say, so help me God.
So help me God. They were still shooting.
Gregory Loftus, whose son Bevan Loftus died in April 2023, was at pains to convince the Madlanga Commission that Bevan's death was not as a result of a shootout with police, but was allegedly a hit by KZN SAPS, allegedly commissioned for 2.5 million rands by an alleged rival gang leader, Clive Naika.
I went to the flat on or about the 6th of April and I looked at the scene carefully to assess what had happened and particularly if the police reporting was correct. It became clear to me that Bevan and his friends were executed and there was no shootout. I have tried to understand what happened. From the pictures I have seen and taken and the markings on the walls and the floor in the flat, I do not believe there was a shootout.
Gregory Loftus also alleged that the quote-unquote narrative that his son was allegedly involved in drugs and had a quote-unquote mean reputation was a cover-up for police to target Bevan and justify their act on the said day.
He says, second last line, towards the end, you want to kill me and all that kind. And then the response by Mr. Naika, I don't. You want to kill me? I don't. Are you making allegations against me or are you telling me the facts? So when you look at all this in context, he actually did deny the allegations.
The hearings continue. Kani Mapanga, SABC News, Pretoria.
The bail application of suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi and 5 others continues at the Brakpan Magistrates Court tomorrow. The case relates to the April 2022 abduction and murder of businessman Emmanuel Mbense. Mbense was allegedly tortured to death in Brakpan before his body was dumped into a dam. A 6th accused in the matter, Yuan Extian, a former SAPS official, was added to the case today. The accused faced charges of murder, robbery with aggravating circumstances, and defeating the ends of justice. In his submission, Mkhwanazi told the court through his lawyer that he would not evade arrest as his passport was taken by the police. He says he can only afford 5,000 rand bail. This is the 4th case that Mkhwanazi has been arrested for. He intends to plead not guilty, and the 4 co-accused who were arrested along with Mkhwanazi have already submitted bail applications. They all claim to have been falsely accused. The state is opposing bail for all the accused, and on Friday, Extian will also apply for bail. It is still unclear at this stage when judgment will be handed down. As Durban gears up to host the 46th SADC summit at the ICC, security has been tightened around the precinct. Senior officials and ministers have been meeting ahead of Monday's Heads of State summit, with regional integration, infrastructure, peace and security, and migration high on the agenda.
An iconic precinct hosting a critical moment for the region, with about 10 heads of state expected to attend. The agenda is packed, from strengthening regional integration and infrastructure development to tackling conflict and security challenges.
Firstly, is to ensure that Madagascar, within the 24 months that they have committed, goes to their democratic elections. Democracy is important. The democratic project must not recede.
SADC says its decisions must translate into tangible benefits for people across all 16 member states.
We have reached a critical phase in the preparation for the 46th session of the SADC summit. Yesterday, the Ministers' Council, which is a meeting of foreign ministers of SADC, met to receive a report from senior officials. And that report covered more than 70 critical decisions in various sectors.
Migration is another pressing issue.
We believe very strongly as Botswana that it's a migration issue requires us to come up with a way that we can ensure shared prosperity.
Law enforcement agencies deployed across the precinct. The Heads of State summit gets underway with high expectations as the region confronts a myriad of challenges.
President Cyril Ramaphosa says the wholesale electricity market will begin its operations in the coming year as a decisive step in diversifying the country's electricity market. Ramaphosa says this will help address concerns of high electricity prices raised by large energy-intensive industries.
President Cyril Ramaphosa says partnerships with the private sector have played a critical role in bringing load shedding to an end. Addressing a business breakfast hosted by the Steel and Engineering Industries Federation of Southern Africa, SIFSA, the president indicated that the upcoming launch of the wholesale electricity market will bring down operational costs.
Over the past 2 decades, electricity tariffs have increased far faster than inflation itself. You all know that. And in some cases, your electricity charge is much higher than even your labor charge. A number of smelters and other energy-intensive operations have either closed or reduced production or face the prospect of closure.
He emphasized that separating the transmission grid from Eskom is critical to creating a competitive wholesale electricity market and bring down energy costs for heavy industries.
Competition is good in our own lives and in what we are offered as services generally. It is good because it gives you choice. You focus on what matters to you. Is it reliability? Is it cost?
President Ramaphosa has cautioned that localization must not become a license for inefficiency or excessive prices, and that it should be competitive and deliver quality. The breakfast with those in business described as an opportunity for the South African economy to industrialize at large scale, to drive localization and ensure job creation through the public-private partnership projects. I'm Katlego Logodi for SABC News in Kempton Park.
Anti-apartheid activist Frank Chikane says his refusal to oppose pardon applications of those who tried to kill him in 1989 was due to him not wanting to relive the trauma of that incident. Welcome back to Prime News on SABC3. Anti-apartheid activist Frank Chikane says his refusal to oppose pardon applications of those who tried to kill him in 1989 was due to him not wanting to relive the trauma of that incident. Chikane appeared before the Kampepe Commission of Inquiry into delayed TRC cases.
Lisuka and Mr. Vani approached me to join them in an initiative they were involved in to oppose the pardons for which the convicted men had applied. In response, I told them that I was unwilling to participate in the initiative or process they were embarking in. 9, my principal reason for not participating in their initiative or process were the following. First, as I explained when I gave evidence before this commission, the attempt to murder me by poisoning me have regard to the totality of the circumstances has been highly painful and traumatic for me, and being asked to go through the details thereof, even if only briefly, revives that trauma and pain.
Social welfare beneficiaries who were at the SASSA offices when the Minister of Social Development, Dina Pule, conducted an oversight visit today. They've bemoaned the long queues, and the visit is aimed at strengthening the quality of service and to address challenges experienced by beneficiaries at SASSA offices.
Long and slow queues, as well as being sent from pillar to post, are some of the issues the residents complained about. Some say they have gone months without their grants due to the amount of paperwork involved.
For July, I didn't get SASSA a pension. For August, I didn't get. This is now the 3rd time I'm here.
Last time, hopefully I'm lucky today. And that's only for the account change from one bank to another.
The minister said the queues were now managed better, with residents allocated numbers when they walk in.
I want to ask elderly people, please don't come at night and sit at the offices. I really want to request that, because they are going to be assisted. Even if they're not assisted on the day that they were supposed to be on a Monday or Tuesday, they're still going to be assisted on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, and a Friday. So that elderly people are safe. They don't come and sit outside the offices of SASSA at night.
Pula says this is for their own safety. I am Mchiya for SABC News in Cape Town.
Next up, the defense of former National Assembly Speaker Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula says it will apply for the discharge in terms of Section 174 of the Criminal Procedure Act, arguing that the state has failed to establish a prima facie case against her. This comes after the state closed its case in the corruption and money laundering trial. The defense has requested the transcribed record of proceedings and has placed on record that it will file the discharge application. The Gauteng High Court in Pretoria has postponed the matter to the 20th of August to allow the defense to receive the transcripts and prepare its application. The state will then await the defense's heads of argument before drafting its response. Mapisa-Nqakula faces 12 counts of corruption and 1 count of money laundering and has pleaded not guilty to all counts. After a short breather, it is do or die for Banyana Banyana tonight, who must beat Nigeria to keep their hopes alive of qualifying for next year's FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil. More on this coming up shortly. Thank you for staying with us. Zambians are voting today in presidential, parliamentary and local government elections. But despite an improving economy and falling inflation, the cost of living remains a major concern for voters. Opposition parties are hoping that economic frustration will translate into support for change.
Before sunrise, Zambians were already lining up to cast their ballots. In Lusaka, voters spoke on their hopes for a peaceful election, but also uncertainty over the outcome.
We've come to vote. We've been waiting for this day and it has come. So we are exercising our rights to vote and we want to vote peacefully.
President Hakainde Hichilema is seeking a second term after taking office in 2021, promising to revive an economy weighed down by debt and economic hardship. His government points to Zambia's debt reconstruction, economic recovery, and sharply lowering inflation as evidence of progress.
But overall, among the majority of our population, particularly in urban areas, the cost of living is a major factor. Among the elite, the issue of governance is also a factor.
For voters, the ballot is therefore not simply about economic figures, but whether those gains are translating into jobs, affordable food, reliable power and better quality of life. Polls close at 6 this evening, with results expected from Monday. I'm Bukhali Pile, SABC News.
In your sports news, it is do or die for Banyana Banyana tonight, who must beat Nigeria to keep their hopes alive of qualifying for next year's FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil. South Africa take on the Nigerians in a playoff clash at the Women's African Cup of Nations in Casablanca. The South Africans' hopes of automatic World Cup qualification suffered a blow when they were beaten 2-1 by host Morocco in the quarterfinals last weekend.
Banyana Banyana will be looking to put their dismal performance in this year's tournament behind them when they take on Nigeria tonight. All four losing quarterfinalists are set to play each other for CAF's remaining 2 spots in the Intercontinental Playoffs for the World Cup in Brazil next year.
Here we get another opportunity, to prepare to give us that opportunity to go back to the World Cup, and we're facing a familiar foe in Nigeria, who also didn't get through, and it's going to be a really big match for us. The magnitude of the game becomes bigger because it's Nigeria, but we have to be up for it.
Meanwhile, Banyana Banyana striker Hilda Mahaiya says the team is grateful for another opportunity to qualify for the World Cup.
I think we are lucky. We are lucky that we got another chance to fulfill our goal, of which is qualifying for the World Cup. But it's not going to be an easy match. It's going to be physical. There's just going to be a lot going on as we know each other with Nigeria.
Tonight's encounter kick-off at 10 o'clock South African time. Tom Molepo, SABC News.
All right, from the pitch to climate talk, it is now time for us to look up to the sky for the latest weather predictions. Your trusted weather experts are on standby with the details you need, and your forecast is up next.
Thank you very much and a very warm welcome to the Weather Desk. Time for us to look at those conditions over the country. When I start looking what's happening for tonight, we keep on seeing that clearing that's happening over most of the country. It's going to be a cloudy night over most of South Africa. Rainy conditions as we move into Limpopo, Mpumalanga, stretching towards the coast over KwaZulu-Natal with some isolated showers and rain for tonight and also for tomorrow over Richards Bay and surrounding areas. That's the only place that we're expecting rainy conditions for tomorrow. Overall, it's expecting a cloudy day over South Africa. Some morning fog patches over that escarpment of Limpopo stretching Mpumalanga all the way into KwaZulu-Natal, where visibility will be reduced for tomorrow. So please, let's be careful. Those will be driving. We do expect a level 2 warning of some damaging winds as we move towards the Western Cape, stretching into parts of the Northern Cape. We take Alexander Bay and also Springbok. So let's be careful over those areas. We are talking localized damage of formal and informal settlement and also possibilities of some temporary structures being damaged and also reduced visibility because some blowing dusk. We're talking towards the coast. We're expecting a wind speed of up to 40 to 50 kilometers per hour, can gust up to 80 kilometers per hour. So please, let's be careful over those areas for tonight and also for tomorrow. For tomorrow, mostly over that interior of the Northern Cape. We're talking the southern parts of the Northern Cape, Sunland, and also surrounding areas. For tonight, it is going to be cold over Polokwane, Pretoria with an average of 5, 9 over Musina, 12 over Durban. Cape Town dropping down to 11. For tomorrow, it is cool over Durban with a high of 18, 24 over Springbok with that warning of some strong winds for tonight and tomorrow. 26 over Appington. Also expecting cool conditions over Johannesburg with a high of 16, 18 over Polokwane, 21 over Musina. Richards Bay, rainy conditions for tomorrow with a high of 22. That's all the weather I have for you. Stay tuned.
And that is all we have for tonight. And as always, we appreciate your audience. Be sure to tune in again tomorrow evening for more of the news you need. Until next time, from myself, Becky, and the team, it is good night.